learning some really exciting chess openings that can win you games quickly. That's the purpose of today's video. I have been doing some digging, and I discovered, or rather am going to present to you, an opening that many of you don't know about. And this will absolutely change your perspective. This will help you win a lot more games with the black pieces. This video is split into 3 parts. In the first part, I will show you the opening, and I've put those moves in the description. You can copy them, paste them into any analysis board. And then I'm playing 2 blitz games. I play one against a 1000 and then against an 1800. So we're covering a lot of the target audience for the opponents that you're going to be playing. Let's jump in and let's take a look at the absolutely venomous Rousseau Gambit. So you're the Gotham subscriber, the Ultra Giga Chad, Grandmaster 9000 rated, and your opponent opens with e4. And after just 3 moves, the Gambit begins. It starts with e5, completely symmetrical stuff, knight to f3, knight to c6, and your opponent plays bishop c4. Now, if you'd like to add this same kind of weapon and gambit to the Spanish, you can. On the 3rd move after c4, you flash out with the move f5. Couple of things about this move. What essentially you're doing is you are giving up a pawn to try to take central space with first e4 and then with d5. That in and of itself is the gambit. Now, seasoned veterans of chess, and those of you who play the Vienna opening will realize this is a Vienna with black. And what I mean by that is, just give me a moment, just give me a moment. If you play your king's knight and your queen's knight, you are playing the same type of gambit with a knight here as you are in this opening. It's essentially the same thing. It is more dangerous to play this gambit with the black pieces, but that doesn't mean that it's like losing. I mean, it's a little more dangerous. Oh, Stockfish has some moves. That's the whole point of a gambit, though. High risk, high reward. And there is a lot of risk here for white. First of all, if they take your pawn, you shove the pawn forward to e4. Here's already a way that white can get into a terrible position. They can move their knight to any of these squares and it gets taken. Okay? So many people here will just go back. So now you play knight to f6. You play knight to f6 because if you play d5 right away, you might get hit with this move, and that's a bit scary, but you're not even losing. You're not even losing. You have to go here and then come here. But you're not even worse, even if that happens. But I think personally it's, much more reasonable to do this than d5. And you have 3 pieces out. You have 3 pieces out. You have a better position immediately. Your bishop comes out next. Your queen comes out. So you just have a fantastic position. Like this. So taking the pawn on f5 is no good. And if your opponent plays queen e2 trying to pin you, you just do the exact same thing. This doesn't help the position for white. Knight g1, knight f6, d5 coming, or knight into d4, by the way, attacking the queen and threatening the fork. So they cannot take on f5. It's not a good idea for them to take on f5. It's also not a good idea for them to play a move like knight c3. It's a relatively rare move. That move loses on the spot to takes, and a fork. GG. Game over. The moves that I think you're going to face the most, besides taking, are actually the moves that you're going to see in the practice games. And they are d3 and d4. I think it's very human here for most players to just defend themselves. That's what they think they're supposed to do. Now you just develop like this. Couple of things about this position. There are various ways that white will try to get in with knight g5 to try to play like this, and knight to f7. Don't be so worried about that. I have a variation for you. You have to play d5. When they take, I actually would like you to play this very aggressive move b5. Very tricky stuff here.
What do you mean? How are you not dead?
You have triple pawns, which is very funny. You can capture, you can kick their knight out.
How are you not dead? It's PB. Sorry.
And if they take like this, you get your queen out, you're hitting everything. It's a very, very dangerous position for white to find themselves in. Knight g5 you might face.
Well, it should have been like 10 seconds faster.
You have d5, and that move is in the description for you. And generally, the plan here is something like this. d5.
How did my guy live that, dude? Impossible.
We're holding the pawn there. And something like bishop g5, you can go here and just grab the bishop. And when you grab that bishop, you will be able to castle. The major problem here is that you are not able to castle, but you will just grab that bishop with knight a5 and take it. This is the setup that you want. At times, your dark squared bishop will go to b4. So let's say this. Now I recommend pinning the knight. Like, if you can pin the knight and trade, I like that. This is the structure that you want. With two knights like this, with pawns like this, and then we're going to take care of business later. You may face bishop g5, and then against this, I just think attacking is very reasonable. I think this is just very simple. Take, develop, you're in good shape. D3 is certainly a move, but it's really not a scary one. You play knight f6. If at any point they do this, d5 is very nice, and you have a very pleasant